Hi, I'm Angel from FleeceFun.com and I'm here in the AllFreeSewing studios, and today we're talking sewing machines. What do you need to look for in a good sewing machine? Why do you need a good sewing machine? And how can you even check if it is a good sewing machine? I'm going to answer all these questions and walk you through it. So the first thing you're going to look at when you're looking into buying a machine is, does it have a good weight to it? And I call it the huh test. It's a very scientific term. And what it is when you pick up the machine, you have to go huh when you pick it up, meaning does it have a good weight? Oh, okay, good machine. So that's the first thing you want to look at. A featherweight honestly is not going to cover you with most of your sewing projects. You want something with a good weight that isn't going to move around on the table. So that's the first thing you're going to look at. The second thing you're going to look at is, does the machine have a solid straight stitch? And that is just the basic stitch that you do. And honestly, a straight stitch, that's what you do for 90% of your projects, is you use a straight stitch. If you don't like the straight stitch on a machine, you're going to hate all the stitches on the machine, because that is the basic stitch for everything. So you want to be sure that it has a good straight stitch that you like. That's very important. The other thing is, does it have speed and strength? And usually a solid machine is going to have some really good speed and strength. But to be able to do things like quilting, to be able to sew on jeans or other heavier materials, you want a machine that has some power behind it. And also, does it have a good sewing speed? Some machines, they just slow sew. Some people like to go faster, some people like to go slower when they sew. So do you like the pace and timing of the machine? And that can vary between makes and models. So be sure that you sit down and sew on the machine and know that you like it. Finally, does it do everything that you need it to do? It depends on what kind of sewing that you like to do. Do you like to quilt? Do you like to embroider? Do you just want to have a good machine just around the house to do little projects here and there? Know what you need out of the machine to get it. Now, I'll be honest with you, this machine here has a lot of bells and whistles, but honestly, I'm not going to use all of these stitches. I might not ever use all of the stitches that are available on the machine, but I need to be able to have a machine that does a good straight stitch, a good zigzag stitch, and a buttonhole. And honestly, if it has those 3 stitches, that's all you need. Everything else, it's nice, but not necessary. So decide what you need out of your machine. And also, when you go and look into buying a machine, it's worth making the investment. Now, I'll be honest with you, this machine, it's costs a pretty penny, but it's worth it because these machines last for decades. A machine that you buy in a store that you can also buy hot dogs in, it's not going to last you decades. So be aware of where you're buying your machine, because you're going to get what you pay for. So again, if you can buy hot dogs in the same store that you bought your machine, it's not going to be the best machine. When you go to make that investment, go to a place that just specializes in sewing and selling sewing machines. That's a very important one, because they're an excellent resource. 2, if something goes wrong with the machine, you have an actual person to talk to and contact. They usually do their own repairs. And also, you usually get some really great benefits when you buy from a sewing store, a sewing machine store, like free classes, special feet, and that sort of thing. So it's important to, when you go to make that investment, go to a specialty store. Also, I will tell you, if you're just getting into sewing, it's okay to start on a machine that you bought that's very inexpensive. That's okay. But after sewing for a year, I highly recommend making the investment, since you know that you're dedicated to your craft. The important thing about having a machine that actually costs a little bit more money is, I know when something goes wrong, odds are I'm the one that screwed up and not the machine. I'm not fighting with the machine for my project, and it makes sewing a much more pleasant experience. All right, so that's what you need to look for in a machine. Well, do you already have a sewing machine? What kind? Let us know in the comments below. Also, if you found this information useful, please give us a thumbs up for our hard work, and subscribe to AllFreeSewing's YouTube channel, because they're adding videos like this all the time that are useful for sewists just like you.